So here we are again, taking a little ride on the Katana, and basically today I've done more tuning and I've put a brand new Spiffy Keen windscreen on it. That's a double bubble, and we're going to see how the bike works and how the wind is deflected by the new windscreen, which is much taller than the old one. Hello, truck. Yes, I will yield. No, not to you, white car. But anyway, basically we're going to go take a little ride on the highway, check out the tune, make sure if it's got any weird things going on. It's about as good as I think as I'm going to get it, and I'm going to discuss that during the ride. But there's some things I wanted to talk about that a lot of people need to take into consideration. I spent the last 6 weeks, bought this bike May 1st. So it's been 2 months, and I spent the entire time getting it dialed in, fixing everything that was wrong with it, getting the engine retuned properly. And let me tell you what the people who had this bike before me thought was good for tuning of the engine. They bought parts to advance the timing 5 degrees, which is a normal thing for the Katana series because they're lower compression rated engines and they can use the extra time, which is fine. Then they put in the next range hotter spark plugs, which makes the engine tend to show you that it's running lean, and they run hotter. And this is an oil boiler, it uses oil cooling and air cooling. So you really don't want to roast things with hotter spark plugs if you can avoid it. So they did that, which made me think that the tuning was actually leaner than it was. But that's okay because I caught that. They put jets in that were probably 3 sizes larger than they should be. That's the main jets. They left the standard pilot jets, which is your idle and the first maybe 1/4 of your throttle. They left those stock, but they put on aftermarket air filters, which reduced the pressure drop, which means that it was running lean in the lower RPM ranges. And then they put an aftermarket constant velocity needle in it at stock position. Why they did that, but they did. So they did all these things to the engine. I have gone through it and replaced, changed, or modified everything they did to get the engine to run properly. It's probably making no more than 1 or 2 horsepower more than the day it came off of the showroom floor 20 years ago. And it's, well, it is what it is. It's a low performance or medium performance engine. It makes about 100 horsepower in stock form, about 65 pounds of torque in stock form. Bike will do 136 miles an hour, and yes, it will do 136 miles an hour. I have a 1 size larger rear tire and 2 teeth less in the rear gear to get the speedometer to read properly, and it reads dead on. So in the last 2 months, I've spent approximately $1,400 on parts, bits, pieces, bobs, whatever, to get the darn thing back where it should be from where they had it. Caveat emptor. Buyer beware. But that's okay because I know I can fix these things and I know I can play with them and do whatever else. What does this bike do that makes it so special? Not much. It's a nice bike. It's a smooth bike. It gets down the road at stupid speeds if you want it to. It can kill you in a heartbeat if you let it. And it will do decent cornering, as I'm about to show you. There's a corner up here, it's a 20-mile-an-hour corner. Go through it, well, in excess of 40. My Ducati takes in excess of 50, but I'm running Battle Axe tires, which are super sport tires. And I have the speedometer up here, so everybody can see how fast I actually go through this thing, 3rd gear. And I'm just steering. I'm just leaning and steering a little bit. I'm at a good angle, good steady angle, hanging off the right side of the bike just slightly. And I'm in perfect control of the bike. Cars come through there at 35 to 40, so they're not beating me up. And now I just take it down this section of the road to see how the 80-mile-an-hour wind buffet is. It's the windscreen. This is one of the cheap Chinese windscreens. It's a double bubble. The stock one's about 4 inches low. It's about here when I had on there. So it's getting a lot of wind. Right now it's just basically all going over my helmet. And this help take it off to the side so I don't get really buffeted very much at speeds. And I'm doing 85 miles an hour here and I don't even know it. I'm very comfortable in this bubble. So I'm happy with that. Probably cuts down the wind noise in the helmet a lot too. And on the mic. Anyway, so much for all that though. But people buy a motorcycle. And they'll lower it, they'll stretch it. They'll put a solid post for the rear suspension. They'll take up the discs off the brakes to make it faster. They'll take it to a dyno tuner to do all this stuff. And why? Crash Test Goat, who I am a member of his little entourage there, I guess you would say. I go to his channel almost on a nightly basis. We just sit there, we talk, and we chat, and text and things like that. We have a good time. But you've seen videos of him blasting through traffic down in the Texas area, splitting lanes, hauling ass. He's pretty safe doing that. But it takes one mistake, and I'm not going to mention any names of riders who have passed, but a lot of riders have made one mistake, and so they're crippled for life. This truck could blow out a tire and take me out right now. The car in front of it could pull in front of it and cause it to jackknife right in front of me. I'm well away from it as I go around it, because this is just a good idea not to be close to the truck when you wing around it. It also reduces the wind buffer. But people get motorcycles, and a lot of them are very young. I'm not very young. I'm 70 as a matter of fact, but be that as it may. Makes me a little more, I would say, pragmatic about things. But we're going down the road here, and I'm going along just fine. I don't need to do this. I don't need. Who am I trying to impress? Who am I trying to scare? Who am I trying to make excited? Anytime I want, I can get triple digits. Bike will do it all day long. Why do it? Doesn't make any sense. The traffic usually is going about the speed you need to be going anyway. Cutting through traffic doesn't get you anywhere that much faster. You know, I'm sounding like an old guy in your driver's ed class, right? You don't need to get there that fast. Just slow down and get there. And that's the message. Slow down and get there. Yes, you like going to the back road and cutting corners. I understand it. I love cutting corners. But one moment of a lack of attention can be the last moment of lack of attention you'll ever get. Right now, I'm looking at mirrors. You don't see my head moving, but I'm glancing at mirrors, glancing at gauges, glancing at the road ahead. My eyes are just pivoting around while my head stays still. I do this constantly when I ride. I took a 1,600-mile ride from Greensboro, North Carolina, out to, over to Colorado Springs, Colorado, to visit my brother last year. 1,600 miles straight through. Stopped for gas and coffee. That's it. 22 and a half hours for 1,650 miles. I was doing this constantly, the entire time. My head was on a swivel, my eyes were moving, and I was constantly aware of my surroundings. 22 and a half hours straight. Try that soon. It's a lot of fun. But I just want people to stop and think. What are you doing on the bike? What are you doing to the bike? Why are you doing it to the bike? Who are you trying to impress? And at the end of the day, you know, you can spend all that money and all that stuff, and I'm not saying you shouldn't or you shouldn't. But I think you should be a little wise in your choices and in your habits when you ride. I don't take this corner at the same speed I took the other one because it's a dropping radius. And a lot of times there's debris in this corner. So I take about 35. Point is, be smart. Don't ride stupid. Don't do stupid. And that's my message for the day. And I'm out of here, and I'm back in traffic. Have a good day.